Brian, I'm
We
going to get
didn't
you on
talk
again
about
soon.
the feces from the jet.
Well, I'm going to do that. And I got Harry Sisson. He was the guy who got dumped on in the
You
video.
tell him he's
There's
my
Harry
hero.
right there. There's
Harry,
Harry.
let me
Hey,
tell you
Harry.
something. I saw you, and I like. I don't know if you saw it, but I liked when you said he went after me. Let me tell you something. That feces is a badge of honor, honey.
Yeah, it
You
is.
you
Oh, yeah.
don't. Yeah, I mean, I would never want to do. But can you
Well-
imagine a president of the United States creating an AI video
Yeah.
where he
Well,
has
it's
King
Stafford,
Trump
yeah.
a crown, and then he's flying a jet, and then he drops feces on peaceful protesters, and your face was the main one.
Well,
That's crazy.
Well-
I got to tell you, it reminded me of the shit demon in Jay and Silent Bob's Dogma.
Excrement or feces. We don't have to say that. We,
Well, that's what
especially
I'll
around
say it
impressionable
is.
young people at
Well,
USC. Okay.
Guys, April, Brian, great to see you. I'm going to get Harry in here so he can respond to all those. But I'll
Thank
talk
you,
to
Harry,
guys
for what
soon.
you
Thank
do.
Well, there's Harry. Harry's back in. Hey, Harry, I had to scramble. You were a little late, so I scrambled and I got Brian and April. And because of this craziness with Trump starting to destroy parts of the White House to build this monstrosity of a ballroom, that's the latest monstrosity. What happened to you over the weekend is obviously, clearly just a ridiculous gesture on his part and an offensive one at that. But I mean, Harry, let's just jump right into this because I'm curious what you think, what the last 48 hours has been like for you.
Yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, Mr. Acosta, thank you for having me back. You know, I'm such a huge fan of you.
Oh man,
So anytime
right back at
anytime
you.
we can, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's been a crazy 48 hours. My immediate reaction to Trump's use of that video, you see it on your screen
There it
right
is.
now,
Yeah.
was just disbelief. I think, seeing this, like what we're watching right now, I could just never imagine coming from a president of the United States or any elected official, and yet this is real footage that he posted on his official social media page, dumping feces on me, other protesters, the American flag, as you saw in that clip. But just stunning and immature and childish and disgusting. And I'm still in disbelief that this is the reality that we exist in right now.
No, I know. I mean, I described it as man childish in my Substack earlier today, and I think he was, he was thinking that he was owning the libs or whatever you want to call it, and pulling a prank that can make MAGA laugh and so on. But I mean, the way I describe it is, this is Trump soiling himself. This is Trump crapping on himself, because honestly, it tees up what is to me the perfect juxtaposition here. I mean, this is what Donald Trump not only thinks about Democrats and progressives and people protesting on No King's Day. This is what he thinks about America, and he shits on his own people on a daily basis through tariffs, through healthcare premiums going up, through this government shutdown. I mean, this is a day in the life, it seems to me.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good point. It's always curious to me when a politician, especially a president, tries to attack like 50% of the country, and that's exactly what Donald Trump did. I mean, he's taking a dump, and both literal and metaphorical, in that video at least, on all of us, on 50% of the country. But I think what MAGA has to realize is it's also happening to them. You mentioned all the awful statistics coming out of this administration. Terrible policy is not bias in terms of politics. It affects everybody and will affect everybody as it continues. So while everybody else's healthcare is going up, while military members, not getting a paycheck, federal workers not getting a paycheck, Donald Trump is posting AI videos on social media, and that really shows you what he thinks about the presidency and how seriously he takes the presidency.
Right. I mean, he was complaining about the No Kings protests and saying, how can they call me a king? I work my ass off. He said something along those lines. Let's listen to that, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
I'm with AP.
With AP?
What's your response to the protests over the weekend, the No Kings protests?
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective. and the people who were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
Mr. President, besides San Francisco...
And by the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
He says he's not a king, but he's tearing down parts of the White House as we speak without anybody really having a say. But your thoughts, Harry?
Yeah, I just every time I see this guy speak these days, I just baffled. I'm just, it's so depressing and shocking. But everything he just said is false. Like, I don't actually think he said a single true thing in that little statement he just made. The No Kings protests, yeah, it was all crap, no pun intended. The protests were huge. They were successful. It wasn't paid by Soros, or I didn't get a Soros paycheck. I don't think anybody watching got a Antifa paycheck like they claimed. I went there for free. And that's the thing. A lot of Americans are just pissed off with what he is doing. And the fact that his response to this anger is an AI video where he's dumping on me and other people, again, just shows you he's not serious. He doesn't actually care about these issues. And for him to say he's not a king when he's actively ignoring court orders all the time is just laughable. It's laughable.
That's right. And by the way, he said there weren't that many people that showed up. 7 million people estimated in those crowds scattered all across the country. This was way bigger than any inauguration crowd size. And let's remember, his second inauguration, they had to move inside because he was so panic stricken that he was going to have a small inauguration crowd again. But anyway, we'll just put the crowd size thing to the side for a moment because it's a sore point. It's a sticking point for him. But Harry, you also got on social media and said, hey, can somebody over at the White House ask him a question about this? Because, like, what the fuck is going on? And then the vice president himself, JD Vance, gets in because I guess he gets involved because he has nothing to do either and goes after you too. So you had the president and the vice president going after Harry. How old are you, if I may ask?
I'm 23. I'm 23.
23 years old. The president and the vice president wasting their time going after you. Totally nuts.
It's exactly right. They are more interested in internet beef with a 23-year-old than they are in, for example, opening back up the government. I mean, what I just said is a stunning sentence. It's also the reality of the world we live in right now with the president. And my tweet I put out asking, can a reporter somebody ask Trump why he posted this? That request has, at the time of you and I chatting, has still not been fulfilled. I know if you were in the White House, Jim, you would certainly be on this like white on rice. But so far, they have not gotten to Donald Trump yet about, hey, what was the rationale of, crapping on Americans?
Yeah, somebody over at the White House needs to ask him that damn question. But some of these reporters over there, it's unreal. They are afraid of getting retaliated against and getting tossed out. And so they can't go in. And they care more about their access than what Trump is doing to this country. It's totally nuts. But then in response to JD Vance, you had a very good clap back, which was what, if you can explain, because not all of our viewers are on the socials all the time, but I thought it was very good.
I said to Vance, I'm not quoting verbatim here. I said something along the lines of just add me to the Signal group chat. I'll ask him myself. And so far he's not taken me up on that offer. I'm quite disappointed about that.
Yeah, he didn't have a tart response to that when you said that.
No.
But let me ask you this, getting back to No Kings, because that's what this is all about, really. What was your sense of it? My sense of it was I was really inspired by what I saw on Saturday. I saw, somebody asked me, were there a lot of young people down there? Because, folks are worried that it's just, boomers and that kind of a thing, hippies and that sort of thing. But no, I would tell people there were a lot of young people down in Washington and New York, all over at all of these. Chicago was unreal. Those pictures from Chicago were crazy. But what was your sense of the whole thing?
I got that same question too, actually, about young people from our friend Don Lemon at the protest. And I mean, there's been some discussion online that there weren't a lot of young people. What I saw in Manhattan was overwhelming. I had so many young people come up to me and talk about my work on social media, but also how this is new for them. They're just getting involved now. They understood that the 2024 election was significant, but seeing the repercussions of that election has really awakened a lot of young people. And I went to the first No Kings protest. There were a decent amount of young people there. This one had even more. I was really stunned. Yeah. And on the final point I want to make about what the White House has said and the Republicans have said, it's all old people. First of all, not true. But second of all, let's just say hypothetically it was old people. they are Americans, and they're also Americans who vote. So I'm not
Right.
exactly sure why they're, ignoring this large group of people and just
Yeah.
saying, oh, they're just part of this one category, which means they're not significant. No, their reaction to the No Kings protest proves that they know it's significant.
Well, I will say, Harry, I mean, what they're really worried about, and I think what that AI video reveals is, here's some images from No Kings on Saturday from our crew, our team. But what they're really worried about, Harry, is losing guys like you. And that's why they attacked you. That's why Trump's meme makers or whoever these morons are, they went after you because they don't want to lose what they consider to be the podcast bro community. And what they managed to do in the process is elevate you, Harry. I mean, now everybody wants to talk to you and ask you about this crazy meme video, but that's a clear warning sign for them. If young people are starting to show up in droves at these kinds of protests, these kinds of demonstrations, it means that, and the polls have shown Trump's popularity among Gen Z has been plummeting. And so they shouldn't be attacking you, Harry. They should not, they probably should be steering clear from you altogether, but they're too stupid to do that.
Yeah, they don't have the brightest working back there in the White House on this social media thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I know that Donald Trump is very aware of the data. I know that his team is very aware of the data. They are seeing Gen Z swing back from him, which unfortunately a lot of young men did vote for Donald Trump. They're
Yep.
seeing young men especially have I think over 20-point swing back toward the Democrats, or just Democrats generally, and the policy ideas that Democrats have. And if Donald Trump's goal with his AI video and JD Vance's follow up, if their goal was to like silence me or get me to stop or get my peers to stop, then they were sorely mistaken. This has only empowered us more to hold this administration accountable. And I can't tell you how many young people I've had reach out to me, be like, this is insane. People who I know are even conservative saying this is insane. I think people are fed up, and I think they know that this is a significant moment in their term where they have millions of Americans out in the street protesting, and also people are just not. They don't feel like Donald Trump has done a good job as president.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see a Democratic ad maker turn that ad around, or that video, that AI video around, and create an ad that goes right after how Trump has been handling his presidency the second time around. Show him showering Wall Street with cash while he's showering foreclosure notices on farms in the Midwest. Have him in the Qatari 747 doing this, not in a Top Gun fighter jet with the Adam Kinzinger was talking about how the mask didn't even fit his face. It was totally ridiculous. But
Yeah.
but I mean, that to me is the reality. The reality is that, Trump is vulnerable right now, very vulnerable politically. When Marjorie Taylor Greene is starting to distance herself from Donald Trump, they have a problem.
That's a sentence I don't think you or I would expect to hear, or wouldn't have
Yeah.
expected to hear when Donald Trump got inaugurated. But yeah, I mean, if Marjorie Taylor Greene is going out there and saying that things are still too expensive and people are struggling, that's how you know this administration's in trouble. And that's why I think Donald Trump has been especially erratic recently. I think he has
Yeah.
this habit of, when he begins to panic, he acts outrageous all the time. He acts extra outrageous, far more than normal. And you can kind of tell when he goes through these waves of being really panicked about something. It was especially present during his criminal trials, when he was really nervous about going to jail for the rest of his life. I think he happens to be in that moment right now because he is chronically online. He does scroll through all of the polling, and he knows that he is vulnerable, and that a lot of people are distancing themselves from him.
Yeah. When he's saying, "I'm no king, I'm not a king," that he is thinking about this deeply. It is touching him in places that he doesn't like to talk about publicly. But I mean, and the other point is, and I kind of made it earlier, but I'll ask you one more time, and that is, or to expand upon it, is, when some of these asswipes inside MAGA go after you, they're doing you a favor. I mean, that when they did that thing over the weekend, I mean, are they new to this? I mean, I thought they were supposed to be good at this.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I welcome Donald Trump's
Yeah.
attacks. I welcome JD
Yeah.
Vance's attacks.
Yeah.
It only gets more eyes on our message. And at the end of the day, look, I'm not focused on Donald Trump's pettiness, his attacks towards me. He can come after me all he likes. I don't particularly care. What I'm focused on is beating MAGA, winning elections, and taking our democracy back from this lunatic. And if Donald
Yeah.
Trump wants to attack me in this way and give my message, your message, our message more attention, have at it. You can make me the fall guy. I have no problem with that. I want to beat the hell out of Donald Trump in these elections.
All right. Well, Harry, great to see you. I know you were a little late because you were talking to the Daily Beast. You must have like 10 other interviews to do between now and tomorrow. But good for you. Way to roll with the punches. As Brian and April were saying earlier, I mean, it's a badge of honor for them to go after you in this fashion. It means that you've gotten under their skin somewhere along the way. You did something that poked the tiger with the stick. And so that's why they're coming after you. But excellent work as always, Harry. Great to see you, man.
Well, thank you, sir, and likewise. And I appreciate everything you're doing. And thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate it.
You got it. No worries. Anytime. Just let me know if you got stuff to talk about. We want to hear it. Thanks, Harry.
Yes, sir. Will do.
All right. Good to see you. And I feel a little old when he calls me sir, but that's okay. I'll take it. It's totally fine.